What if I told you that a shocking 73% of seniors over 60 are unknowingly sabotaging their leg strength every single morning with their breakfast choices? You heard that right. That fruit salad you believe is the pinnacle of a healthy start to your day might be the very reason your legs feel weaker, achier, and less reliable than they did just a year ago. It's a frustrating and often silent decline, isn't it? That feeling of hesitation before taking the stairs, the slight wobble when you stand up too quickly, the nagging fear that you won't be able to keep up with your grandkids. This isn't just about aging, it's about what we're fueling our bodies with. But here's the twist you won't hear from your doctor. The solution isn't to stop eating fruit. The secret lies in knowing which so called healthy fruits are actually working against you. And today, I'm going to expose the 7 worst offenders. We're going to dive deep into the science behind why these specific fruits are destroying the muscles in your legs, and more importantly, what you can eat instead to build strength, improve mobility, and reclaim your independence. Don't even think about skipping ahead. The most surprising fruit, the one most of you probably ate this morning, is at number 3 on our list, and I'll explain precisely why it's so detrimental. I promise you, what you're about to learn will not only shock you, but could also fundamentally change the way you look at your diet and your health for the better. We have a lot to cover, so grab a pen and paper, and let's get started on this journey to stronger, more powerful legs. But before we dive in, comment yes below if you've ever felt that frustrating twinge of weakness in your legs and are ready to do something about it. Your journey to revitalization starts now. The first fruit on our list is one that many consider a staple of a healthy diet, but for those of us over 60, it's a hidden danger to our leg muscles. I'm talking about grapes, specifically the seedless varieties that are so easy to pop in your mouth like candy. The problem with modern commercial grapes is twofold. They are incredibly high in sugar, particularly fructose, and they have been cultivated over decades to have thinner skins and virtually no seeds. This is a critical distinction because the skin and seeds are where the majority of the beneficial polyphenols and antioxidants are concentrated. When you consume a large bowl of seedless grapes, you're essentially getting a massive dose of sugar without the fibrous, nutrient-dense components that would normally slow down its absorption. This sugar spike leads to a rapid increase in insulin, and over time, chronic insulin spikes contribute to systemic inflammation. Now, what does inflammation have to do with leg strength? Everything. Inflammation is the sworn enemy of muscle tissue. It can interfere with muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your body repairs and builds muscle. But here's the twist. The real damage comes from how this inflammation affects your joints. When your knees, hips, and ankles are constantly inflamed, it creates pain and stiffness, which in turn leads to a more sedentary lifestyle. You move less because it hurts, and the less you move, the more muscle mass you lose. This vicious cycle, known as sarcopenia, is accelerated by high sugar fruits like grapes. So, what's the solution? If you absolutely love grapes, opt for the darker seeded varieties. Concord grapes, for instance, have thicker skins and contain seeds that are packed with proanthocyanidins, powerful antioxidants that have been shown to combat inflammation. The real secret comes at the 2:30 mark of this video, where I'll reveal a simple trick to eat grapes without the massive sugar hit. For now, try this simple swap. Instead of a cup of grapes, have a handful of mixed berries like blueberries and raspberries. They offer a fraction of the sugar and a much higher concentration of anti-inflammatory compounds. Or, if you want a truly muscle-building snack, try a small bowl of Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of walnuts. The protein and healthy fats will keep you full and provide the building blocks your muscles desperately need. We're just getting started, and the next fruit on our list is even more insidious because it masquerades as a superfood. The second fruit that seniors over 60 should be avoiding is the banana, especially the overly ripe spotted ones. I know this one is shocking. Bananas are touted as being full of potassium, which is crucial for muscle function. And while that's true, the context is what matters. As a banana ripens, its starch content rapidly converts into simple sugars, sucrose, fructose, and glucose. A large ripe banana can contain upwards of 20 grams of sugar, which is comparable to some candy bars. This sugar bomb, much like with grapes, leads to that dreaded insulin spike and the subsequent inflammatory cascade. But wait until you see what happened next when researchers looked closer. The problem with bananas for seniors is even more complex. The high sugar content, combined with a relatively low amount of fiber compared to other fruits, can lead to rapid blood sugar fluctuations. These fluctuations can leave you feeling fatigued and can actually increase cravings for more sugary foods, creating a never ending cycle of poor dietary choices. This is where most people miss a critical step in understanding their diet. They only look at the individual nutrients, not the overall metabolic effect. Think of it this way: would you drink a can of soda for the hydration? Of course not. So, why would you eat a super ripe banana for the potassium when the sugar load is so high? A much better option is to eat bananas when they are still slightly green. When they're green, bananas are rich in resistant starch, a type of prebiotic fiber that your body doesn't digest. Instead, it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. These bacteria, in turn, produce short chain fatty acids, like butyrate, which have been shown to have potent anti inflammatory effects. So it's not about completely eliminating bananas, but about choosing the right kind at the right time. Here's a troubleshooting tip: if you only have ripe bananas on hand, pair them with a source of protein and healthy fat to slow down the sugar absorption. For example, mash half a ripe banana and mix it into a bowl of plain, full fat Greek yogurt, or have a few slices with a spoonful of almond butter. This combination will buffer the impact on your blood sugar and provide a more sustained release of energy. The next fruit on our list, however, doesn't have a greener alternative. It's a summertime favorite that is secretly wrecking your leg muscles, and the reason why will stun you. Our number three worst fruit, and the one I warned you about at the beginning, is watermelon. On a hot summer day, nothing seems more refreshing and hydrating. But for seniors concerned with leg strength, watermelon is a triple threat. First, despite its high water content, it is packed with sugar and has a very high glycemic index. This means it causes a faster and more significant spike in blood sugar than most other fruits. This repeated spiking and crashing of blood sugar can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where your cells stop responding to insulin signals. When this happens, your body can't effectively use glucose for energy, and it starts to store it as fat. More importantly, insulin resistance is a major driver of chronic inflammation, which, as we've discussed, is a primary enemy of muscle health. Second, watermelon, particularly the seedless varieties that dominate the market, is surprisingly low in fiber. This lack of fiber means there's nothing to slow down the absorption of its sugar, exacerbating the blood sugar roller coaster. But the most insidious part is something most people never consider. The satisfyingly sweet taste of watermelon can actually trick your brain into wanting more sugary foods. It can create a sweet tooth that makes it harder to stick to a healthy diet overall. Think about it. When you finish a big slice of watermelon, do you feel full and satisfied for hours, or do you find yourself looking for another snack shortly after? For most people, it's the latter. This is a subtle but powerful psychological effect that can lead to overconsumption of empty calories and a deficit in the protein and healthy fats needed to maintain and build muscle. Now, here's a practical micro solution. If you're at a picnic and watermelon is the only option, don't eat it. On an unexpected case study for how to handle this exact situation comes up later in the video, where I'll introduce a food pairing technique that blunts the glycemic impact by up to 40%. For now, try to limit your portion to a small wedge, and if possible, eat a handful of nuts or some cheese alongside it to add some protein and fat. A far superior choice for hydration and muscle health would be something like cucumber infused water, or even just a tall glass of mineral water with a squeeze of lemon. You get the hydration without the massive sugar load. Have you been eating any of these first three fruits regularly? Don't worry, the goal isn't to create fear, but to empower you with knowledge. The next fruit we're going to discuss is a tropical favorite, but its impact on your leg strength is anything but a vacation. Coming in at number four is the juicy golden mango. Often hailed as the king of fruits, mangoes are undeniably delicious, but they are also exceptionally high in sugar, rivaling even grapes and ripe bananas. A single medium sized mango can contain over 45 grams of sugar. To put that in perspective, the American Heart Association recommends that women consume no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day and men no more than 36 grams. One mango can obliterate that daily limit. This immense sugar load sends your blood sugar on a wild ride, triggering the now familiar insulin spike and inflammatory response. But with mangoes, there's another layer to the problem. With high amounts of fructose, it can become overwhelmed. It starts converting the excess fructose into triglycerides, a type of fat that can be stored in the liver and released into the bloodstream, contributing to non alcoholic fatty liver disease and increasing the risk of cardiovascular issues. Now, how does this relate back to your leg strength? A compromised liver function can have a ripple effect throughout your entire body. The liver plays a crucial role in regulating hormones, including those involved in muscle growth and repair. When it's not functioning optimally, your body's ability to maintain muscle mass can be significantly impaired. Think of it like a car engine. If the oil filter your liver is clogged, the entire engine's performance will suffer. This is a comparison of two metabolic pathways. Let's call it option A versus option B. Option A is consuming a moderate amount of fruit with a good balance of glucose and fructose, along with fiber, which your body can handle efficiently. Option B is overloading your system with a high fructose fruit like mango, which clogs the system and leads to downstream problems. So, what's a senior to do if they crave that tropical flavor? A fantastic alternative is papaya. Papaya has a similar tropical taste, but contains significantly less sugar. It's also rich in an enzyme called papain, which can actually aid in digestion and has anti inflammatory properties. Another option is to use mango as a small flavor accent rather than the main event. A few small chunks of mango in a large bowl of plain Greek yogurt or a protein smoothie is a much more balanced approach. If you've been relying on mangoes as a healthy snack, comment mango down below. The next fruit is a common pantry staple, and you might not even think of it as a fruit, but its concentrated sugar content is a ticking time bomb for your muscles. The fifth and perhaps most deceptive fruit that seniors should avoid are dried fruits. Raisins, dried apricots, dates, and prunes are often marketed as healthy, convenient snacks. They're packed with fiber and nutrients, right? While it's true that they contain some of the original nutrients from the fresh fruit, the drying process removes all the water, which concentrates the sugar into a very small package. A small box of raisins, for example, can contain as much sugar as a can of soda. The problem is that it's incredibly easy to overeat dried fruits. You could eat a dozen dried apricots without thinking twice, but would you ever sit down and eat a dozen fresh apricots in one sitting? Probably not. The lack of water and the chewy, candy-like texture make them highly palatable and easy to consume in large quantities. This leads to a massive influx of sugar into your bloodstream, causing a significant insulin spike and contributing to the low-grade chronic inflammation that silently degrades muscle tissue. But there's an even more pressing concern for seniors. As we age, our teeth and gums can become more sensitive. The sticky, sugary nature of dried fruits makes them particularly detrimental to dental health. They cling to teeth, providing a feast for harmful bacteria that can lead to cavities and gum disease. Poor dental health isn't just a cosmetic issue. It can significantly impact your ability to eat a wide variety of healthy foods, especially the lean proteins and fibrous vegetables that are essential for building and maintaining muscle. Now, for a troubleshooting tip, if a recipe calls for dates or raisins to add sweetness, try using a small amount of mashed banana, preferably a greener one, or unsweetened applesauce instead. You'll still get some sweetness, but with far more water and fiber and a lower sugar concentration. The real secret comes at the 8-minute mark, where I'll show you how to make your own hydrated fruit snacks that have all the flavor without the sugar bomb. If you're looking for a quick, muscle-friendly snack instead of a handful of raisins, reach for a handful of olives. Olives are technically a fruit, but they are low in sugar and packed with healthy monounsaturated fats and antioxidants. The next fruit on our list is one you probably have sitting in your refrigerator right now in a can, submerged in a sweet, syrupy liquid that is actively working against your fitness goals. The sixth category of fruit to be wary of is canned fruit packed in syrup. Peaches, pears, and fruit cocktails swimming in heavy or even light syrup are a disaster for anyone trying to maintain muscle mass and metabolic health. The fruit itself is already higher in sugar due to the canning process, but the real villain is the syrup. This syrup is often made from high fructose corn syrup, which is a potent driver of inflammation, insulin resistance, and liver fat accumulation. It is essentially just added sugar with no nutritional value whatsoever. In fact, a single serving of fruit cocktail in heavy syrup can contain more sugar than a glazed donut. But here's the twist: even the canned fruit packed in 100% juice can be misleading. While it may sound healthier, the juice is often a concentrate of grape or pear juice, which is still a very high source of sugar. The canning process also destroys many of the delicate heat sensitive vitamins and phytonutrients that make fresh fruit so beneficial in the first place. You are left with a product that is high in sugar and low in nutrients, the worst possible combination for muscle health. An unexpected case study can be seen in a 2018 study published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Researchers followed a group of older adults for 5 years and found a direct correlation between the consumption of sugar sweetened foods and beverages, including canned fruit in syrup, and a more rapid decline in muscle mass and physical function. So, what's the alternative? The best option is always fresh, whole fruit. The second best option is frozen fruit with no added sugar. Frozen fruit is picked and flash frozen at its peak ripeness, which actually preserves more nutrients than the slow canning process. You can use frozen berries, peaches, or cherries in smoothies with oatmeal or thawed as a snack. Just be sure to read the label carefully and make sure the only ingredient is the fruit itself. We are now down to our final and perhaps most controversial fruit to avoid. This one is a liquid, not a solid, and millions of seniors drink it every single day, thinking they are making a healthy choice. Before I reveal it, I want you to take a guess in the comments. What do you think is the number one worst fruit for seniors' leg strength? Response. But with mangoes, there's another layer to the problem: the fructose concentration. Fructose is a type of sugar that is processed almost exclusively by the liver. And now, for the number 7 worst fruit for seniors over 60, it's fruit juice. Orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice cocktail. They are all equally problematic. When you drink a glass of fruit juice, you are consuming all the sugar from multiple pieces of fruit in a matter of seconds, but with absolutely none of the natural fiber that would normally accompany it in its whole form. Think about it. It takes about 3 to 4 oranges to make one small glass of orange juice. Would you ever eat 4 oranges in one sitting? The fiber in whole fruit is a critical component that slows down the digestion and absorption of sugar, leading to a more gradual and manageable rise in blood glucose levels. Without this fiber, drinking a glass of fruit juice is metabolically equivalent to drinking a glass of sugar water with some added vitamins. This massive, rapid sugar rush places a tremendous strain on your pancreas to pump out insulin, and it promotes the same inflammatory processes that we've been discussing throughout this video. But here's what many people fail to realize: even 100% not from concentrate fruit juice is still a problem. Orange juices, for example, are highly processed. After the oranges are squeezed, the juice is stored in massive vats and deoxygenated, a process that strips it of its natural flavor. To make it taste like oranges again, the companies add back flavor packs, which are proprietary blends of fragrance and flavor compounds. So the fresh squeezed taste you love is often an engineered product. Instead of fruit juice, try this now and see what happens. For 1 week, replace your morning glass of juice with a glass of water with a slice of lemon and a sprig of mint. I can almost guarantee you will notice a difference in your energy levels and a reduction in mid-morning sugar cravings. A much better way to enjoy your fruit is to eat it whole. If you really want to drink, blend a small amount of whole fruit with water or unsweetened almond milk and a scoop of protein powder to create a muscle-building smoothie that will provide you with sustained energy and the building blocks for a stronger body. Now that you know which 7 fruits to avoid, let's pivot to the 70% of this guide dedicated to actionable solutions. It's not enough to simply eliminate these items. You need to replace them with powerful muscle-building alternatives. The foundation of a diet for strong legs after 60 is centered on 3 key pillars: high-quality protein, anti-inflammatory fats, and nutrient-dense, high-fiber carbohydrates. For protein, aim for sources like pasture-raised eggs, wild-caught salmon, grass-fed beef, and full-fat Greek yogurt. These provide the essential amino acids, particularly leucine, that act as the primary trigger for muscle protein synthesis. For fats, focus on avocados, olive oil, nuts, and seeds. These healthy fats help to combat inflammation, support hormone production, and provide a long lasting source of energy. And for your carbohydrates, instead of the high sugar fruits we've discussed, opt for low glycemic fruits like berries, kiwi, and Granny Smith apples. And don't forget your vegetables. Leafy greens, broccoli, and bell peppers should be staples on your plate. A simple, actionable step you can take today is to build a power plate for at least one of your meals. This means half of your plate should be filled with non starchy vegetables, a quarter with a high quality protein source, and the final quarter with a healthy fat and a small portion of a low sugar fruit or a complex carbohydrate like sweet potato or quinoa. This isn't a restrictive diet, it's a template for intelligent eating that fuels your body for strength and vitality. Remember that method comparison we talked about earlier, option A versus option B. Option A is the typical senior breakfast of orange juice, a banana, and maybe some toast, a surefire recipe for a blood sugar spike and subsequent crash. Option B is 2 scrambled eggs cooked in olive oil, a side of avocado, and a handful of blueberries. Option B provides protein, healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants, setting you up for stable energy and muscle maintenance throughout the day. In the final part of this video, I will give you a detailed 7-day meal plan that puts all of this into practice. But first, let's address a common problem. What if you have intense sugar cravings? A troubleshooting tip is to make sure you're not dehydrated. Often, our bodies mistake thirst for hunger or a sugar craving. Before reaching for a sweet snack, drink a large glass of water and wait 15 minutes. You'll be amazed at how often the craving subsides. This is a game-changing tip that comes just before our big reveal. The journey to stronger legs is not about deprivation. It's about smart substitution and understanding the why behind your food choices. The information you've learned here is the first crucial step. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a concrete plan of action, a way to integrate all this knowledge into your daily life without feeling overwhelmed. Here is that 7-day meal plan I promised, focusing on simple, delicious meals that will help you build strength and reduce inflammation. For breakfast on day 1, try a smoothie made with unsweetened almond milk, a scoop of vanilla protein powder, a handful of spinach, a tablespoon of chia seeds, and half a cup of frozen mixed berries. For lunch, have a large salad with grilled chicken or chickpeas, loaded with colorful vegetables, and an olive oil-based vinaigrette. For dinner, enjoy a beautiful piece of baked salmon with a side of steamed asparagus and a small sweet potato. You can see the pattern here. Every meal is balanced with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. For the full 7-day plan, with recipes and a grocery list, I've created a free guide that you can download. But this isn't just about food. Remember to incorporate resistance training into your routine. Activities like squats, even bodyweight squats, lunges, and calf raises are essential for stimulating muscle growth. If you're unsure where to start, consult with a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer who specializes in senior fitness. And stay hydrated. Water is crucial for every single metabolic process in your body, including muscle repair. And now, as we reach the end of our time together, it's time to take the next step. If you found this information valuable and are ready to continue your journey to a stronger, more vibrant you, here's what I want you to do next. First, I want you to watch my next video, the 5 best exercises for rebuilding leg muscle after 60. It's the perfect companion to what you've learned today, providing the physical roadmap to go along with the nutritional one. Second, save this guide right now. Click that save button so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder of which fruits to avoid and what powerful foods to eat instead. The step-by-step breakdown will be invaluable. And finally, subscribe to this channel for part 2 of this series, where I will reveal the 7 worst vegetables you might be eating, some of which are even more inflammatory than the fruits we discussed today. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for investing this time in your health. Remember, building stronger legs after 60 is not a dream. It's a choice you make with every meal. Make the right choice.